Hey guys, Mark here. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video, I'm going to demonstrate how to make a paracord bracelet using the herringbone braid. This bracelet style is very comfortable and it is fairly simple to make. I am quite surprised that I haven't seen this style of a bracelet made so far. So I think it's fairly unique. Maybe someone has done it before, but I haven't seen it so far. As far as the supplies that you're going to need for this bracelet, there are only a few supplies that you're going to need. You're going to need type 1 paracord and you're going to need 4 strands of it. For an 8-inch long bracelet, I used up about 3.5 feet of each cord. So 4 cords, each 3.5 feet long, should give you an 8-inch bracelet. I also used a lighter, some scissors, as well as a paper clip or regular clip in order to hold my cords together. With that said, let's move on to the tutorial. So guys, here you can see a couple of bracelets done with the herringbone braid. As you can see, the bracelet on the left side has a bit of a different pattern to it than the bracelet on the right side. This is because the color sequence when braiding such a braid does matter. For example, the body of the bracelet on the left side was made by having all cords of one color on one side and all cords of the other color on the other side. So on the left I had all red cords and on the right side I had all blue cords. With this bracelet here on the right side, I had the colors alternate on both sides. So I had the green on both sides, then the yellow on both sides, the green on both sides, and then yellow on both sides again, because these two bracelets are both 8-stranded herringbone braids. If we take a look at the basic parts of our braid, we have 3 parts. So we have the loop, the body, and the closing knot. The loop is made with a 4-stranded round braid which joins together into a 8-stranded herringbone braid. The closing knot on this one is a rose Sennit knot, but you can use any other type of a stopper knot that you would like, as long as it works with 8 strands. So with that said guys, let's move on. I have 4 pieces of type 1 paracord here, and I have sectioned off one color to one side and the other onto the other side. I'm going to fold these 4 cords in half. Let's say that this is the middle point in our cords, and I'm going to move up a couple of inches from the middle. At this point, I'm going to take a clip, and I'm going to clip these 4 cords together. I'm then going to tie off this top part, these 4 cords, onto something in order to create some tension onto my cords. I usually use a doorknob, but you can use anything that you would like as long as it holds your cords. Place 2 cords onto the right side and 2 on the left. Start with your top right cord, go through the 2 cords on the left, and back towards the right. Then take your top left cord through the cords on the right side and back to the left. Then the top right one again through the cords on the left and back to the bottom on the right. Then the top left cord through the cords on the right and back to the bottom on the left. Continue braiding, creating the round braid until you have a sufficient length for a loop. This is going to be a couple of inches. Once you have braided a sufficient length so that you can use the round braid for a loop, we're going to continue by transitioning into the herringbone braid. So we have 4 cords on each side and we're going to join them so that we have all cords of one color on one side and all cords of the other color onto the other side. We're going to place our round braid around an object such as a doorknob, in my case a loop. Then we're going to remove the clip. And now place all cords of one color onto one side. I'm going to start with an under over here. Then, for example, do an over 2 here. It doesn't really matter how you make the sequence. The transition is usually quite clean. You can do it nicer, but I don't think it's needed. So with that said, let's move on to the herringbone braid. We're going to start on the right side, picking up our top right cord, traveling around the back, through the cords on the left side, going under 2 over 2, and back to the bottom on the right. Then take the top left cord, go through the cords on the right side, and back to the bottom on the left. Then the top right cord again, through the cords on the left, so under 2 over 2, and back to the bottom on the right side. Then the top left cord, under 2 over 2 on the right, and back to the left. Then the top right cord, under 2 over 2, and back to the bottom on the right. Then the top left again, under 2 over 2 on the right, back to the bottom on the left. Top right, under 2 over 2, back to the bottom on the right. Top left, under 2 over 2, back to the bottom on the left. Now, once you have done a few braids or a few sections, we're going to pull on all of the cords to tighten up the transition. Now you can make it much nicer, but I think this is fine. Now we're going to continue the same way that we braided before. So top right, under 2 over 2, top left, under 2 over 2, top right, under 2 over 2, top left, under 2 over 2, and so on. What I do when I'm braiding, I try to braid my braid tightly, and I square up my braid like this in order to make it a square shape. This is a square braid after all. So continue until you get a length for your bracelet that you would like, and at that point we're going to continue by finishing with a stopper knot. After you have braided the length that you would like for your bracelet, it is time to finish it. I'm going to show you how to use this knot, which is a rose knot, but you can use any type of a stopper knot that you would like. To start your rose knot, we're going to first divide these 8 cords into 4 pairs of 2. Like this. Take one of the pairs, in my case this one, go counterclockwise over the next pair here. Then the next pair goes over the third pair, and the third pair goes over the fourth pair. The fourth pair goes through the loop made by the first pair, and this ties a crown knot. Now tighten it up a bit. So we have the crown knot ready now, and we're going to continue by using a bit of a larger cord so things will be a bit easier to see. See ya in a jiff. I have recreated the knot with a bit of a bigger cord for you to be able to better see what I'm doing. We're going to start with one of the cords. It doesn't matter which one you start with. And make a little loop. Take the cord on the right side and feed it through the top of this loop. Once we get the second loop, we pick up the third cord and feed it through the second loop. This creates the third loop. Pick up your fourth cord and feed it through the third loop. Use up all of your cords the same way. Once you have made the last loop with your last cord, we're going to pick up our first cord and feed it through the top of the loop that we made last. Now tighten up this knot. Once you have tightened the top part a bit, we can move on to the third step in our process of making a stopper knot. Pick out any cord that you would like to start with and feed it under the cord to your left. Then go parallel to this cord going up top. Like this, and place your cord facing up. If we take another look, we take our cord, the next cord on the left, go under the cord to the left, then up. Then take the next cord, go under the next cord on the left, and up top, parallel to this cord, going up. Once you reach the last cord, you're going to need to go under the next section going down, and then up. Here. So over to, then under. And we have all cords going towards the top side. Again, pick out any of these cords. I'm going to start with this one. And go down, under two, and then split this pair of parallel cords, and then over two. So under two, over two. Then the next cord on the left side, under two, over two. Then the next cord, under two, over two. Continue the same way. and the last cord under 2 over 2. We're getting very close to the end, and the knot already looks quite nice, especially from the side. What we're going to do now is we're going to pick up our cords and travel with them towards the top. Pick out one of the cords, see where it ends under 2 over 2, then go up. Take your next cord and feed it into the space in between the next two cords. So where you exit over 2, go up. And the next cord, and the last cord. We now have all of the cords at the top. We're at our last step, which is to finish. I'm going to place all of the cords to the side. Like this. And we're going to start with one of the cords. Go over 2 of these middle cords and then back down. Then take your next cord, over 2 and down. And the next, over 2 and down. The next, over 2 and down. You need to be a bit careful with your last cord. As you can see, they all start over the previous cord and they end up under the next cord. So if we start over here, go over 2, we need to finish on this side of this cord. This is just a minor detail, but it does matter. Like this. And with this, the knot is tied. All you do now is pull from the very start of the cord that's coming out of the crown knot and work the slack out, pulling it out of the working end. You need to do this with all of your cords in order to get a nice consistent knot. Once you do some tightening, you're going to get a nice rose knot look. What I do to improve the look of my knot is to also push down this outer edge a bit down in order to make it more 3D. As you can see, the center pops out a bit, which makes it look quite nice in my opinion. There. You can now cut all of the ends and melt them, and this will finish off your knot. What I do is also heat up this bottom part a bit more in order to stiffen it a bit, which makes this knot a bit of a better stopper knot. With that said, guys, thank you for joining me and see you next time.